Hey, what's good everybody? This is Saber94. Got a brand new deck profile to show you guys today. Another new card, maybe not so new anymore, but how many weeks have passed since Paradox Rift came out? But a Paradox Rift EX once again, and it is going to be the Garchomp. We're going to be looking at a deck with this card today. Now, this card, when I reviewed it, I was really positive with it, and I still think it's a well-rounded card. I mean, everything about it is great. Besides the Sonic Dive Snipe attack, that's a bit too weak. But as I've said, maybe they thought, since they made Garchomp C-Level X Snipe so broken, they'll just get back at Garchomp this time, make things even, and make this attack weak. So 120 for 2 and a double discard, that's not very good. But besides that, everything else about it is good. I mean, 320 HP is nice when you have free retreat. A lot of these EXs, the big stage 2s, don't have free retreat. So this is something quite handy. I mean, just 10 less HP than Charizard and it gets free retreat. That's very good. And then the Hydrolander attack does a very sweet 160 for 1. And you can grab 3 basic fighting energies from your discard pile, attach them to any Pokemon you like on the bench. So very, very good energy acceleration through an attack with very solid damage too. You know, the 160 isn't going to get one-hit knockouts, and even some stage 2 Pokemon might be surviving, surprise, surprise. So maybe those guys are going to give us trouble, who knows, but it's the sort of damage output that's good for 2-hit KOs. It's in that range where other EXs are going to die. Charizard unfortunately isn't going to die, he survives with 10 HP, but we can work with this. We're going to be powering up some different attackers. For the Garchomp line I do 3 though. I have the 4th actually. I crafted the 3rd and then I ended up pulling a full art. So now I got like 3 full arts. But you don't really need too many of these guys. You just need a few to power up. And then you attack with different Pokemon for more damage and more tricks. Before I get to those though, you know, the Garchomp I do 3, 1 Gabite, 1, and then I do 4 Gibbles. I only got 2 of the fighting one, so I do 2 of the Dragon one. Doesn't really matter, to be honest. I guess this guy can do 20 for 1. This guy won't be able to do anything. But they got the same HP, they got 1 retreat. That's the most important thing. So that's that. Besides the Garchomp, the attackers we're going to power up are going to be this Terrakion and the Tinglu right here. And I guess maybe Mew. Mew can be considered as a backup attacker here. So Terrakion. Now this guy, to be honest, I almost forgot about him. And then I pulled him in a pack and then I thought, oh yeah, this guy, didn't even put him in the Groudon deck. But we do damage in that deck. We're not trying to maybe stall. But this guy should be nice in this deck where we can do Cavern Tackle, you do 120, your opponent can't damage this card next turn, and then you can just retreat, attack with the Garchomp, and then power this guy up again. So even though you lose energies by retreating, it hardly matters, you get them back again, and it's like you do 280 by you doing the damage and your opponent not able to attack this card. Of course, Boss's Orders is going to play around him, but maybe they're not always going to have him, hopefully, and then he can be pretty good. And for Tinlu, this guy is just raw damage, that's it. With Arrogant Impact, if we put 3 fightings, this guy can do 220, kill a lot of things in one shot, like the basic EXs, and just be in that range where if I hit this 220, then everything should be softened up for Garchomp to kill. Anyway, that's good. And then Sandbringer might be a good attack too in the beginning. We do discard a lot of fighting energies in this deck, since we're going to get them back with this guy. Alright, and then Mew. Mew is, you know, it's that Genome hacking copy attacks. Maybe we can copy like a Charizard. A lot of the times I find this card can be a liability on the bench with that 180 HP. But can give me a little bit of mini draw as well, which should be something. And maybe we can copy a big attack. Since I can power this guy up with Garchomp as well, I thought might as well have this as opposed to something else. You have plenty of options. You could use like Great Tusk Donphan, you can use Koraidon EX. Those are some decent options, but they carry a little bit more risk. I mean, they can do... Koraidon can do just as much damage as this dude, but this guy is just a basic. And, you know, we can use his effect to get fighting energies for free, but then that's what this guy's for. So I thought maybe, but then I thought no, I'll have some different Pokemon. And everybody else is in here for support. I mean, I've got the Greninja. This is the Radiant Pokemon of this deck. Makes sense, for as long as this thing is around, it's going to be seeing a lot of play in decks. It's still so good from Astral Radiance. In this case, we discard fighting energies, get that mini draw power, and set up for this guy's attack. And then the other two Pokemon are just Manaphy for bench protection, and then this Jirachi, I'm kind of putting it in a lot of decks now. This protection against Sableye, I appreciate that, and then maybe other bullshit effect attacks. Unfortunately though, it doesn't stop Roar and Moon. That's really unfortunate. But it's going to be good against Sableye. You know, the small Pokemon gives me that protection. And that's it for the Pokemon. I mean, it's a very simplistic line. Maybe you could say a thin attacker line. But the idea is we want to get by. For trainer cards, I run... Well, I do the 4 Nest Ball, 3 Level Ball, and then 3 Ultra Ball as well. Good arrangement to get our basic Pokemon. Ultra Ball, gonna get the Garchomps, and it's a discard outlet as well. So it makes sense. I got triple Earth and Vessel, discard outlet once again, plus the heavy duty Searcher card for our fighting energies. I think it's pretty self-explanatory, the combos you can do with this and Ultra Ball and all the other shit, Greninja. That's the point. And then I do triple Trekking Shoes, mini draw power, item based. Standard stuff, I want to say. And 4 rare candies for the stage 2. The 1 tech switch, just in case, you never know. We want to retreat one of the bigger retreating Pokemon. And that does it for the item cards. Not much else to say. The stadium of choice is going to be Temple of Sinnoh. I can't really do Path to the Peak here because it's just going to shut down Greninja and Mew. I mean, I could, but I'm thinking to myself, why go in that direction when I can just do this? Because maybe Greninja, we do want to keep using it even mid to late game. So I can keep getting energies with this dude maybe. So instead of Path to the Peak, I decided let's do this. That doesn't affect me. All right. For the not stadiums, the supporter cards, I do double Irida. 2 I think is a good number. If you want to do 3, it might not be bad. 4 I think might be too much, but between 2 and 3, it should be good because this is actually something you can use to get the Garchomp. He is a water Pokemon, which I guess I should also mention is going to give you a lot of trouble with Lightning and Iron Hands. It's going to be this guy's biggest weakness. Pretty dangerous stuff against them, Lightning, because this is a stage 2. We don't want him to be dying so easy. And those Lightning Pokemon, those basics, you know, Raikou and Miraidon, get powered up so easy. So it's a big weakness, but he has good matchups too, as well. But Irida, I can get the dude. Obviously, we can use this to get Greninja and Manaphy as well. Get any item, get the candy. And then you get the Garchomp super quick. So 2 is a good enough number. But if you want to do 3, it might be good as well. I got 1 Cynthia's Ambition. If something dies, I get that good draw power. So I decided to put this in. I got the 1 Shauna. Nice solid draw support. Nice little cute girl. Full art. I mean, it's not as good as draw 6, but we work with it. Iono or Iono, max this out. Pretty self-explanatory. And I do 1 Professor Research as well. This is a discard outlet and obviously draws a lot of cards, but as the years go by, I find I dislike this kind of card more and more. I don't know. In this deck, obviously we're going to dump energies, but You run rare candies, you run your stage 2s, you run stuff that you don't want to discard. And then when you got a bunch of copies with this, it just doesn't work out. It's the only supporter you can use. You're forced to make a fucked up play you don't want to do to draw. Or you can just risk it and not use it, and then you're being passive if you don't draw anything next turn. You get fucked at it anyway. So one copy is good enough. We have other supporters we can use. And then the boss's orders to use it at the right time, win the game. And then I got the Miriam as well for recovery. Should be pretty good. Maybe get an additional Garchomp that way if we really need to. And get some other stuff. Get Terrakion, get Tinglu, never know. I believe that should be it. Oh no, there's Cheryl as well. And Cheryl, almost forgot about this. Fine Ho. Now, this card is here because it's an obvious combo with Garchomp. I can't do too many copies. Maybe if you want to do like a fully fledged Garchomp deck, you don't really rely on other attackers. You just rely on Garchomp, keep attacking. And you're just going to use this to keep him healthy. It could work. It's not the same as max pushing though. This is a supporter, so if you do this, it takes up your supporter for the turn. A lot of the times it's going to conflict when I'm trying to draw with supporters and that sort of thing. So that's why I just do one tech copy, use it at the right time. It should be enough. Between 1 and 2 should be good enough. Anything more than that, you're just going to be breaking with it. Yeah, so just 1 for Garchomp. Maybe it comes up at the right time. But I can't do any more than that. Right. And then energies, 11 fighting energies, just enough to get the job done. We don't need too many to attack. Obviously, Garchomp only needs 1, and we can just keep getting them back over and over with his first attack. So 11 should be good enough. Want to discard. We want to get the manual attachments, of course. We want to dump a few of them, though, too. And this is the deck. This is the motherfucking Delta Chomp, because it looks like a Delta species Pokemon from back in the day. The Blue Water Garchomp. Yeah, I'll see you guys on the matches. This deck is kind of good. I don't think it's one of the best decks from Paradox Rift. I think even something like maybe Goldenko has more potential. I guess I should mention, you know, people use this with Lucario. I don't really see much point in using Lucario with this guy. That's a stage 1. It just makes your deck less consistent. Plus that guy, it really just doesn't... He doesn't add a lot of value the way I see it. I mean, if Garchomp is going to attack and then you power up the Lucario, it's 2-hit KO stuff anyway. I'd rather just use Terrakion and get some utility maybe. And get insta high damage with this guy. Just basic Pokemon. So I don't know why everybody wants to use this with Lucario. At least that's how it was in the beginning. I think I even saw on Pokebeach something with this guy and Lucario. It's something. It's a tech attacker you can use, but I don't really see the point. Lucario doesn't really do enough. And you get 2-hit KOs anyway, so... whatever. But this is the deck. I'll see you guys on the matches. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a like. Share the video with your friends. And see you there. What I...